Welcome to my Law of Talos Explained video series. This is part 1, The Law of Talos. Back in June 2008, at DeviantArt, a user by the name of Sins of Angels decided to host a tournament with other talented art creators in the community that were around the time. Only those that were personally invited could enter the competition. After being invited, if the artist decided to enter, he or she would need to submit one of their original fictional characters. This submission was usually in the form of a small comic that would explain a little about the character and or reasons for being in the competition in the first place. The prizes for winning the competition were commissions from each of the contestants that agreed to contribute to the prize. This included the host herself. And now, for the story. The grand city of Tato, once bustling with life and thought and steam powered inventions, stands deserted save for the stray passing inventor salvaging scrap metal from its workings and a stubborn old man who has lived on the same plot of land his ancestors have all his life. He didn't mind the old abandoned buildings, the winding Victorian architecture that was crumbling in places, or the almost rhythmic release of steam from street vents. No one knew where the vents went, or why they were there, or even how to properly begin to repair the city's maze of architecture to make it living again. But the vents were there, leading to nowhere, and the city is there, and had, at one point, worked for the people in it. All it works for now, other than the old man, were the little robots, left behind by careless people passing through and repaired by the old man, set free to wander the city and make their own homes for themselves. The city itself is like a time capsule, fallen into disrepair, but stuck in this era of steam powered technology, stuck in the same culture it has been since it was last bustling with signs of the lives of its citizens because of the influence of a strange new physical law dubbed Law of Talos by its discoverer, the Old Man. The city functions only on steam power, despite its neighbors having modern technology. Said technology stops working within the city grounds, and there is a presence that is nothing short of magical in the air. The law of Talos has been around ever since the first person had set foot in the city. It seemed, even while it was bustling with the life of its inhabitants, before it was abandoned. Since then, the city has been unpopulated. That is, until now. Now the town is overrun by people scouring every inch of the city for all broilers and gas tanks and engine parts that have been left lying around, and building high glass domes on the metal stilts, all in preparation. The town was going to be alive again, but not for its usual purpose. It would live for a tournament. The stubborn old man had finally done it. In his workshop stood the world's first, and indeed only, wishing machine. Steam and smoke poured out of the contraption, and things spun at seemingly random times, and a small gauge on the front, going from 1 to 10, was now pointing at 1. Whatever it was that was making the machine work was allowing for one more wish. And the stubborn old man had decided that now, since he had hair again and had fun wishing, it was time to be given the last wish. However big or small it may be, to someone who is willing to go to any length to prove that they deserve it. And it was his nephew hanging around the shop one day who suggested the idea of a tournament. So the city had become alive once again, bustling with the sound of workers preparing for said tournament, ready to welcome the competitors and building observation domes for the spectators at either end of the city. Because, as the nephew pointed out, a little monetary profit never hurts anyone. The idea was simple. People who heard of the machine, be it by technology like the internet or carrier pigeon, were told to gather in the city if they were interested. Bring yourself, it said. Bring courage and the will to win, and bring your greatest desire, because fulfilling it is your prize. Once it starts, step outside Tatel and you're out. Be defeated by your said opponent and you're out. And when you're out, you forfeit everything you have collected over the course of the tournament to the winner of the match, since it wouldn't be a proper tournament in the old man's eyes if it didn't allow for some inventiveness. He will give each contestant a set of tools, the most unique and important of these being the boiler, the gas tank, and the engine parts. Metal, pipes, chimneys, everything else could be scavenged. But those parts you could only get by defeating your opponent, and it is with those parts that you can build bigger things or small things, whichever you prefer. And it is those parts you forfeit when you lose a match. Do you have to use the kit? No, of course not. The old man simply wanted to give everyone the fair option to. Just keep those vital parts close. Because even if you don't want them, leaving them would give a huge advantage to whoever finds them. The goal is to be the last one standing, brought in front of the wishing machine, and given the chance to make your deepest desires come true. Yo!